that did not scare you, I genuinely don't know what will. In this video, we're going to be talking about playing Raging Bolt post-rotation with or without Noctowls, and if it's still as viable as it was now that it's lost Pokestop and Radiant Greninja in the Journey Together format. Without further ado, let's get into the history of why Raging Bolt had been so dominant and how it can be played going forward into the Journey Together format. To understand the Bolt's highest highs, we need to look at its humble introductions. It was introduced in March of 2024's Temporal Forces expansion, and the card was originally overlooked. That was until the introduction of Teal Mask Ogerpon the following May, which energy acceleration and draw engine capability allowed it to give energy that Raging Bolt needed in order to consistently attack. By combining it with Professor Sada's Vitality and Crispin, it could provide further energy recycling with cards like Earthen Vessel as well. After this, the card began to make waves in Japan, placing first in the 2024 June Championships piloted by Yusuke Makino. He combined the card with Radiant Greninja, Bravery Charm, and Pokestop. Bravery Charm was there to prevent late-game KOs from Radiant Charizard, while Pokestop was there to provide an aggressive avenue for deck thinning during the mid and late game. And finally, Radiant Greninja could combo extremely well with any energies the player might receive by using Professor Sada's Vitality, making a really good synergistic loop that would allow the player to siphon value from any of the cards they may receive from any of the engine loops. And thus, the Teal Bolt meta was born. To say Raging Bolt shook with the meta is an absolute understatement. It was stealing regional wins from Prime Arceus V-Star, Giratina and Gardevoir EX and V-Star, and the big kahuna himself, Regidrago V-Star. Take a look at these placements. Everything I just said was in its heyday when this deck was shaking up the meta, and it still managed to come out with first, third, second, fifth, out of nowhere. If you can't already tell, I'm being cordial with the amount of placements I'm showing you in this video, but if you want to get arthritis in your right hand, then try scrolling to the bottom of this thing's Limitless page. It's insane. Like, is it not insane to look in retrospect that from March to September of 2024, motherfuckers were just walking into card shops and gaining the craziest freeload just by running a stupid giraffe? Yep, you guessed it. This is the part of the video where I have to talk about Dragapult, because for some reason, John Pokemon decided to make it the best deck in the carrot format. For some reason, from Twilight Masquerade, we got not one, but two extremely broken cards. Dragapult EX and the aforementioned Teal Mask Ogerpon. For 2 energy, Phantom Dive does 60 damage in any way you like to your opponent's bench, while also dealing an additional 200 to their main Pokemon. Almost enough to KO Ogerpon, and sure as shit enough to turn 2 KO any Raging Bolt that it might come across. But all hope wasn't lost, for later in the year, we'd be gifted with a Stellar Crown expansion. Now we all have differing opinions on Dragapult, some more volatile than others, But for once, the Pokemon Company decided to throw Raging Bolt players a bone, instead of giving us another overpowered card that consistently counters our deck. With the debut of Noctowl and Stellar Crown, it gave players a way to consistently search items out of their deck without using their supporter for turn, which is a huge advantage for Raging Bolt, as it could allow for the use of a more powerful supporter that could recycle energy like Sada, or a powerful supporter that could search it out of the deck like Crispin, which would give Raging Bolt a good head start as it performs extremely well in the early game and comparatively with late game. With that being said, Squawkabilly EX could also provide a second layer of protection against a bad hand. With the amount of tip maneuvering I've been doing on Dragapult this entire video, it might surprise you that I don't play it myself, and I still do play Raging Bolt. However, there are a few reasons on why I don't want to play Dragapult in this current format. First of all being, preference. I believe that with Destined Rivals on the horizon, the tech cards that it'll bring will probably take a hit to Dragapult, especially losing Dusknoir's control over the current metagame will be a big hit, but I think that Raging Bolt will see a spike in popularity as one of the new mainstay meta decks, as right now it's cruising around the top 10 in current usage rates. Is Raging Bolt going to stay okay forever in this current format, or do you think it'll rise or spike with the release of Destined Rivals? With everything being said, thank you for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Thank you and have a great day.